What's up, everyone? This is FP Sticks bringing you some Go Battle League battles here in the Great League. I know it's been a while since I put out a Go Battle League video, but I've been trying to keep the content diverse on this channel, and I hope you guys appreciate that. With some Sylph Cups, with some silly wifey battles, all sorts of fun stuff. But in this video, I'm rolling in the Great League with a team of Dugong, Umbreon, and Defense Deoxys, three of some of the bulkiest Pokemon in Great League. So I think I'm calling this video Bulk Up Your GBL Team, because these things are so tanky. I think this team is pretty solid. Obviously, if they lead with a counter user, I'm kind of screwed there, and that would be one of the scenarios where I would just completely sack my Dugong. I would stay in there, throw off as many Icy Winds as possible. If I get a shield from that opening matchup, it's amazing. If I don't, whatever Pokemon that is still going to be so crazy debuffed that it won't be near as much of a threat. And one of the things that Dugong really struggles against in the lead is Registeel. So Umbreon can kind of hang with Registeel. Defense Deoxys can definitely hang with Registeel, but this is kind of one of those prime examples where whatever you have in the lead spot, you need to have two Pokemon in the back that can really deal with its hardest counters. It's not super great. Like, maybe instead of Umbreon, I could have something else that would handle Registeel a little bit better. But if I bring in like a Alolan Marowak, then I have both Defense Deoxys and Alolan Marowak that are weak to Umbreon, and Umbreon's been something that's really been giving my team some problems. But let's just see how I play out some of these matchups. So I have a Registeel lead right there, not good at all. So I switch into my Umbreon, and I just need to start chipping away at this Registeel as much as possible. I fully anticipate Azumarill coming out to switch lock me. Yep. Totally anticipated that. The nice thing is that if the Azumarill isn't running Play Rough, this matchup isn't super terrible. It's still not great because your fast moves are doing hardly anything. Of course, this is an Azumarill with Play Rough, so that's not super great, but these last resorts really do start to add up, which is really great. I actually switch in my Defense Deoxys right here. Pretty aggressive swap, and then I get hit by a Hydro Pump. Really stupid that I didn't shield that up. But out comes the Altaria. This Rock Slide is going to hit for super effective damage, and I now know their whole line. It's the most boring meta line of 3 in Great League. Like, it's super solid. Altaria, Azumarill, Registeel, really solid line of 3, but I really need to look out for that Registeel. Unfortunately, my Dugong is going to most likely have to get aligned with that Registeel yet again. Out comes the Registeel, and I actually switch in my Umbreon here, but I'm going to have to shield this up anyway, so this is not ideal. My Dugong totally would have been able to handle a Flash Cannon from Registeel, but I was worried about the Focus Blast. These last resorts are still chipping away at this Azumarill, so it looks like this person is going to be saving both their shields for Registeel. So I'm going to come out, Icy Wind, farm this thing down, not get hit by a charge move, which is amazing. And I need to start getting these debuffs off on this Registeel as quickly as possible. There goes a shield. But there's still no scenario in which Dugong wins this, because I just do like no damage to Registeel. I am getting these debuffs off, which is great. But even Water Pulse is just not going to be that impressive. So I just let that go through, and I lose that matchup. Pretty rough there. Amazing lead for me. If they lead Azumarill and it doesn't have Play Rough, it's amazing. If they lead Altaria, it's absolutely amazing. They bring out Galvantula, and so I'm just going to throw an Icy Wind here. The thing is, all three of these Pokemon are somewhat flexible, so I actually bring out my Umbreon here, hoping to catch a Discharge. Really good for me. Bug Buzz would have hit for a lot of super effective damage. At this point, there's definitely a consideration that could be made of farming down this Galvantula with Snarl, but I do end up getting a shield there, which is really good for me. So I will also shield this, knowing that it's most likely going to be a Bug Buzz, and now I'm able to Snarl down the Galvantula. Really good for me. Out comes Toxicroak, which actually Toxicroak has matchups against all three of my Pokemon. So Toxicroak is definitely one of the Pokemon that this line is weak to. I think there's a lot of teams in Great League that are really solid. That's the thing I love about Great League so much, is that the diversity of Pokemon is just way higher. Yes, you're going to see a lot of Azumarill and Altaria and Registeel, absolutely, because they're very good. But there's more Pokemon that actually have play within the Great League that can threaten even some of those amazing Pokemon there. I correctly shield up the Sludge Bomb, which is really good for me. I don't want to get hit by another Sludge Bomb, so I will just throw this Rock Slide to take out the Toxicroak. Altaria in the back. Dugong is just going to melt this thing. This is the double Legacy Dugong with Ice Shard as the fast move and Icy Wind as the charge move. Now that you have elite TMs or elite charge TMs, you could start to build a Legacy Dugong, but you do for sure need that Ice Shard as the fast move as well. So I'm able to take that game. They're a good game. Going up against Shindara 12. At this point in time, my rating was still significantly above 3,000. I dropped 110 points in one day. It was a really rough day. I was trying out some new teams. Lesson to be learned, like, if you want to maintain your rating, don't try out brand new teams in Go Battle League. Do some practice battles with your friends first, trying out the team. Because, man, I just tanked my rating so hard because I wasn't super comfortable with the particular lineups that I was bringing in. This matchup of Dugong against Stunfisk is really interesting. I'm hitting it for super effective the whole time, and in return, it's also hitting me for super effective. But Dugong cleanly takes that in the one shield. This is a freaking Razor Leaf Cherrim. I do not recommend Razor Leaf Cherrim. I think Bullet Seed is absolutely the way to go because Cherrim really thrives from its charge moves. It has access to Weather Ball, like Fire Weather Ball, which is so amazing to threaten the Steel types and the other Grass types. But if you're running Razor Leaf, your energy generation is absolutely horrible. Even though your fast move damage is great, I personally like to use Cherrim for its charge moves, and Razor Leaf does not give me that option. It's also a Dazzling Gleam Cherrim. I do enjoy running Dazzling Gleam on my Cherrim, but again, when you have Bullet Seed as the fast move, you're able to rip those Dazzling Gleams off way faster, so definitely recommend that. Defense Deoxys Mirror Match. If I remember correctly, I think Rock Slide in general is a more energy efficient move than Thunderbolt. Even though Thunderbolt technically does a little bit more damage, if I remember correctly, I think Rock Slide's just all around a better move, which is why you see me going for straight Rock Slide in this matchup. But this will be a very confident win here. Going to land the foul play, and this should take out Defense Deoxys. I love Umbreon. I love Defense Deoxys. I love Dugong. Not super solid if this line of three is like super good. I was having decent success with it. I only ran it for two sets here. Defense Deoxys lead is very interesting, and them switching an Azumarill into my Defense Deoxys is even more interesting. Don't quite understand that. The Thunderbolt lands. My Umbreon is now going to completely avoid the Azumarill. If Umbreon avoids an Azumarill, it can do so much work. So I'm going for the Rock Slide now, hoping to get a shield here because they saw how much damage the Thunderbolt did. Nah, this Azumarill don't care, man. Azumarill's just hanging out, trying to get my shields. I eat a Hydro Pump, not ideal. I don't even know if I can counter this thing down. I'm not even going to be able to. Jeez. This is Azumarill put in some work. Now I get the shield? Okay, that's fine. We know they're running Hydro Pump. So bring on my Dugong to farm this thing down a little bit. A Dugong with loaded energy is so annoying to deal with. I'm anticipating that Defense Deoxys coming back out. Yep, it's hitting me for super effective damage. And it's able to rip off a Rock Slide before I can debuff it. Not ideal. It hits for a lot of damage. And Defense Deoxys is so bulky that these Icy Winds do hardly anything. I bring in my Umbreon. They're going to throw a charge move, but this thing has been debuffed pretty substantially. I'm surprised that they're staying in here, which leads me to believe whatever is in the back must be weak to Umbreon, so I definitely want to preserve this Umbreon. It's a Alolan Marowak. You'll love to see it. Umbreon is just an absolute wall to this. 2 foul plays should definitely do the trick here, and then it'll clean up on Defense Deoxys as well. There are few things that feel worse than getting your Registeel stuck against an Alolan Marowak, man. So many times I will like play the first and secondary matchup so great. It comes down to their last Pokemon and I have my Registeel and I'm like, okay, no matter what it is, I have an energy advantage. I know I can win this, and then out pops the freaking Alolan Marowak and ruins my day. It is by far the best counter to Registeel. Dugong's going to be able to come out and get that Defense Deoxys out of there. Good game. Going up against Mudkipped AZ now. I believe we're in the next set of 5 here. So, if this is a Play Rough Azumarill, I'm going to lose this matchup. If it's Ice Beam Hydro Pump Azumarill, I can win this matchup unless they want to commit more shields, and if that's the case, I'm totally fine with that. Oh my gosh, they are running an Alakazam with counter. This is most likely going to be a Fire Punch. Definitely no need to shield that up. Alakazam is so glassy that I really wanted to go for like a crazy aggressive Snarl down, but the counter damage was adding up. They shielded up. I'm going to let this go through. It's just another Fire Punch. No sense in shielding it up. You're going to have to double shield this Alakazam if they want to preserve it. It's so glassy. I don't think Alakazam is good at all. But feel free to prove me wrong if you've been out there rocking Alakazam and you're rank 10 with a crazy high rating. Super props to you. I bring out my Dugong, and this Alakazam is able to get a last second charge move. I will shield this up. It was a freaking Shadow Ball that would have taken me out. This is still a decent matchup for me. Dugong against this Azumarill here. But my Dugong has taken a substantial amount of damage. Wondering what's in the back here. I do shield up the Hydro Pump, and now I will bring out my Defense Deoxys. This is pretty decent in the 0 shield. I should be able to get to 2 Rock Slides, and the subsequent counter damage should be enough to take out Altaria. Oh man, Deoxys looks like a linebacker just from its like build, you know, and it functions like one too, man. This thing is just so freaking tanky. A psychic type that has access to counter as the fast move, like amazing typing. And its charge moves just give you such wide coverage. You could even consider running Psycho Boost on this, but I bring out my Dugong. Gonna catch whatever charge move this is. It was a Hydro Pump. Holy cow. I get one more Ice Shard through, and then I'm barely able to counter down that Azumarill. Very close. Good game there, Mudkipped. Going into the next round here. Favorable lead for me if they aren't running Play Rough. That is the thing. It takes 6 bubbles to get to Play Rough, so no matter what, my Dugong is able to get to the first Icy Wind before they can throw their charge move, which is great for me. I couldn't tell if they got 6 or 7 bubbles here because of the visual lag, but it was 7 bubbles and they landed the Hydro Pump. Totally fine by me. This is just going to be debuff city, running out the clock. These matches take forever. Dugong is such a time waster, but it is amazing. And just the psychological effect of watching your Pokemon get consistently debuffed over and over and over again. So fun. So fun. The Hydro Pump lands. Again, I'm totally okay with this. Totally okay with this. I'm even over farming just a little bit in case they're trying to like make a swap. I want to have some residual energy to play with. But I will survive this Hydro Pump and then Ice Shard down this Azumarill. Really good for me. Whatever comes in is getting debuffed. It's Registeel. This is so great, because now my Dugong gets to totally avoid this Registeel. Reggie can farm me down. That is fine by me. If I would have gotten to another Icy Wind, that would have been absolutely insane. We know Azumarill is out of the picture, but Defense Deoxys is still the best response to Registeel. And now that Azumarill is gone, Umbreon should have a lot of play against whatever's in the back. Oh my gosh. Man, I run Haunter so frequently in Great League, I know how bad this feels. You bring in Haunter to try to get a running start at an energy advantage, and then Umbreon comes out and ruins your day. Shadow Ball does like nothing to Umbreon, and that's saying a lot, because Haunter, Shadow Ball from Haunter hits for so much damage. I'm pressuring shields on this Registeel. This is just absolutely amazing. Umbreon putting in so much work here. I tank the Focus Blast. I don't really care. A Defense Deoxys with 2 shields is just, this counter damage is going to add up so fast. Get the last shield with the Thunderbolt there. But we totally have this in the bag. The super effective counter damage is adding up. This is really great for me. Thunderbolt's still not going to be enough to take out this Registeel. Deoxys is, oh, it is barely enough. Wow. I was going to say the defense stat on Deoxys is not great. Going up against Holden McNuggets here. And I think I misplay this like so horribly. So horribly. Galvantula beats Dugong to like every single charge move, I'm pretty sure. I shield this up. I honestly should have just like sacked my Dugong here. Get an Icy Wind. I should have just taken the shield advantage, because this Galvantula is just totally outpacing me. I commit a second shield here. I need to like get that second shield off of this Galvantula and chip it down a little bit more. But I'm worried that I'm now in the range of being farmed down with Discharge. Not good at all. I bring out my Umbreon, and it gets switch locked against an Azumarill. Of course it does. Like, everyone runs Azumarill. It's an amazing Pokemon. So Umbreon really does not function as a safe switch very well, I feel like. Because you're kind of walled by Azumarill, and it's a play rough Azumarill. Even worse, man. Oh, man. If it was Hydro Pump, we could hang with that a little bit better. Look at this damage, actually. This damage against this Azumarill, not too bad. Not too bad. We even got it into the red before we reached the red. Like, I actually should look up that simulation of Umbreon against the Azumarill without Play Rough. That'd be kind of interesting. I'm assuming you still lose, but it's probably a lot closer. Oh my gosh, Galvantula's gonna hit me with a Bug Buzz. It cleared its debuff. That almost one-shots me. This is going terribly. This is going so bad. Galvantula goes down. Azumarill comes back out. I'm gonna have to eat this charge move, and I have a Dugong that is essentially worthless at this point. If there's an Altaria in the back, there's still some play here. Never mind. Never mind. Oh, man. I don't even know what was in the back. If it was an Altaria, that would have been amazing. It's probably a Reggie, though. Good game. I got wrecked. Shadow Gardevoir. What in the world? Outputs so much damage with Charm, but is also insanely glassy. So I know I'm going to get shields with these Icy Winds here. So I'm just going to stay in, farm this thing down. I'm able to get to a last second Icy Wind, but no, they switch in Registeel and lock on farm me down before I can throw that. But this guarantees that my Deoxys gets switch locked against this Registeel, and I'm up a shield. Totally fine by me. I do know that the Umbreon has, or the Gardevoir has loaded energy in the back. And the charm damage from Gardevoir is going to shred my Umbreon. However, I will be hitting for neutral damage. And because that Gardevoir is so glassy, I'm okay in that scenario when it arises. I eat that Flash Cannon, fine by me. Reggie is not able to get to another Flash Cannon, thank goodness. What's going to come out? Okay, it's a Azumarill going straight Thunderbolt here. I have a lot of loaded energy in my Deoxys. So the Thunderbolt connects, really great for me. I'm able to get to a last second Thunderbolt here. Let's see if we're going to get the last shield. Okay, we do get a shield. And then out comes the Gardevoir. My Umbreon needs to get rid of this Gardevoir, like, right now. I actually don't shield this up because I anticipated it being a Shadow Ball. But I'm sitting here, like, trying to farm this thing down. And I was able to do it, but it chunked down so much of my health. And I think that's actually what lost me the game. If I would have thrown the foul play, you know, two moves sooner, I would have had a bigger chunk of health here. And then with that shield I have, I would have been able to get off. I would have been really close either way. That stored energy allowed me to get off those two last resorts. So I don't know. I lost that one though. Unfortunate. Good game. Going up against Show here. Okay. Interesting matchup. In scenarios like this, I'm actually just totally okay, like, losing the lead if it guarantees that I maintain a shield advantage. Because their Pokemon is going to be so debuffed by the end of this that it's essentially worthless. And Umbreon easily gets to the first foul play before I get to the Icy Wind. So kind of a big misplay on their part. You need to throw your charge moves as quickly as possible when you're playing against the Dugong. Because all of these subsequent charge moves after you've been debuffed are going to do less damage. So it makes the matchup even worse for you. And you can see that my damage is very clearly outpacing this Umbreon. They go for Last Resort. Not the move there, man. Out comes Skarmory. I'm going to get off this debuff. This is still going to hit for a decent amount of neutral damage. I'm even able to get to a second Icy Wind here. I'm totally okay with this. I have my own Umbreon to handle their Umbreon. Going to bring out my Deoxys now for a very aggressive farm down. I'm actually okay eating some Sky Attacks here. Oh my gosh, they go for Flash Cannon, but because it's been debuffed twice, does nothing. Does nothing. Out comes Umbreon. I will throw a charge move to pressure these shields. I know they want to keep this alive, but my counter damage is hitting for super effective. I'm going to shield once, counter this thing down, and be in a very good position. They've got their own defense Deoxys in the back. This is absolutely a wrap. My Umbreon's going to clean that up very nicely. So again, Rock Slide is the way to go here. I bring out my Umbreon. It's just going to totally shred this defense Deoxys. Yeah, so I have this game in the bag. If you like these videos, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what teams in the Great League have been working out for you in Go Battle League. There's so many different options that you can choose from. It's really fun. That is why I am the biggest fan of Great League in Go Battle League. But if you want to support the channel, head on over to my Patreon. The link will be down in the description. Make sure to catch me live on Twitch. I'm still coming up with a schedule here, but link to that will be down in the description as well. Thank you all so much for watching. Happy battling out there. Looks like my rating was at 3073 at that point. Awesome. I will catch you all in the next video.